Tonight on Global TV News Prime, federal government inaugurates committee to end power outages in health facilities. In business, President Tinubu approves carbon market framework to generate $3 billion by 2030. On the foreign scene, Somalia cancels all agreements with the United Arab Emirates over accusations of undermining national unity. And in sports, Nigeria Nations League announces new date for second stanza kickoff. Hello everyone, a very warm welcome to all our viewers in Nigeria and around the world to News Prime on Global Television. Coming to you live from Nigeria's capital, Abuja, I am Uyi Agmofwegbe, reminding our viewers that Global Television is on DSTV, channel 365 and Star Times, channel 276. Tonight, let's begin by telling you the federal government has taken a major step towards ending power outages in Nigeria's health facilities with the inauguration of an interagency technical committee under the Nigeria Power for Health Initiative. Health correspondent Zarau Nasir was there for Global Television.
The Interagency Technical Committee is a component of the administrative structure for the Nigeria Power for Health Initiative, NPHI. The NPHI is a collaborative initiative of the Federal Ministry of Health and Social Welfare and the Federal Ministry of Power, designed to provide reliable and sustainable electricity to healthcare facilities nationwide. The committee was gently inaugurated by the Federal Ministry of Health and Social Welfare and the Federal Ministry of Power as part of efforts to guarantee sustainable electricity supply to health institutions across the country. The Minister of State for Health, Dr. Isiaq Salako, performed the inauguration alongside the Minister of Power, Adebayo Adelabu, who was represented by the Permanent Secretary of the Ministry, Mahmouda Mamman. Dr. Salako explained that the initiative is designed to ensure that every health facility in Nigeria enjoys a reliable and sustainable power supply, stressing that effective healthcare delivery is impossible without stable electricity.
Beyond providing lighting, most of the machines that we have to use require the electricity. Our storage for vaccines, for drugs, to ensure their integrity requires energy. To ensure that the health of Nigerians is improved significantly, to ensure that
In his remarks, the Minister of Power, Adebayo Adelabu, represented by the Permanent Secretary, Mahmouda Mamman, reaffirmed the federal government's commitment to ensuring that no health facility remain in darkness. He noted that energy planning will now be fully integrated into the health sector.
The IATC is expected to serve as the engine room of the National Primary Health Initiative, providing technical guidance, coordinating implementation across its institutions, and ensuring that agreed interventions are evidence-based, cost-effective, and sustainable.
Both ministers commended members of the technical committee for accepting the responsibility and urged them to work diligently to ensure the success of the initiative, noting that reliable power supply to health facilities will save lives and strengthen Nigeria's health system. Zahrau Nasir reporting for Global TV News.
We appreciate your reporting, Zahrau. Mixed reactions have continued to trail the reported plans of Governor Abba Kabir Yusuf's possible defection from the new Nigeria People's Party, NNPP, and the ruling All Progressives Congress, APC. Global TV correspondent Idris Jibrain reports that movement along State Road leading into the government house has been restricted as authorities take precautions ahead of any official announcement.
Less than 24 hours after the speculation broke out, heavy security presence has been observed around the Kano State Government House, with operatives from the Department of State Services and the Nigeria Police Force stationed at key locations to prevent any possible breakdown of law and order. Some residents say it's not unusual in Nigerian politics for leaders to switch parties, especially if it aligns with the interests of their people.
babu laifi ya koma wannan jam'iyyar ya koma wannan jam'iyyar. Dalili kuwa shi ma haka ya tarar. Ainihin shugabanni ba wanda bai tsalle ba akan wannan mutum.
They point out that Governor Yusuf's political mentor, Senator Rabiu Musa Kwankwaso, has made similar moves in the past. Others believe the tension surrounding the potential defection is unnecessary and that the focus should be on governance, not party affiliation.
I don't want him to go to the APC.
Why?
Yeah, let him stay at NNPP because of it is a party that elected him.
As security operatives continues to patrol Kano's commercial areas, residents are left waiting. Governor Yusuf has yet to officially announce his decision, even after the widely discussed January 12th deadline. Whether Governor Abba Kabir Yusuf stays with the NNPP or joins the APC, the political future of Kano remains a subject of national interest. Supporters of the new Nigeria People's Party in Kano, or rather the Konkosia movement, are divided behind loyalty line. There are those in support of Governor Abba Kabir Yusuf to move to the ruling All Progressive Congress, and there are those who are against the move by the governor to move to the ruling All Progressive Congress. Talking about those who are in support of Rabiu Musa Kwankwaso, this group are actually saying that unless the former governor Rabiu Musa Kwankwaso decided also to move to the ruling All Progressive Congress, they are not going anywhere with the governor. But be that as it may, the people of Kano State are waiting to see whether the former governors, Abdullahi Umar Ganduje and Rabiu Musa Kwankwaso, will once again sit down on the same table to decide the political future of Kano State. From Kano, Idris Jibrin, Global Television News.
Quite an incisive report there, Idris. We're so grateful. Let's turn to other stories tonight. Stakeholders of the APC in Kano State have called for massive participation in the party's ongoing e-registration exercise, describing it as critical to securing victory in the 2027 general elections. A statement issued by Chief of Staff to the former national chairman of the All Progressives Congress, Muhammad Garba, reveals that the meeting resolved that all party members must register and mobilize others, noting that Kano's strong grassroots base and long-standing loyalty to the party position is to lead the exercise nationwide. Party leaders stressed that a credible and verifiable membership database is key to strengthening the APC's political structure as well as improving its electoral performance. Meanwhile, the All Progressives Congress APC electronic membership registration and revalidation exercise has officially begun in Benue State with a major flag-off ceremony that brought together political leaders and party faithful in the state. Correspondent Felicity Ndere reports that Governor Hyacinth Alia launched the digital registration drive in Vandekia local government area of the state.
Today's ceremony marks what many describe as a new political chapter for the state, as the ruling party pledges unity, inclusiveness and development through the ongoing e-registration exercise. At the flag-off event, party supporters and residents gathered in large numbers to witness the launch, signaling strong grassroots interest in the process.
It is very important that we all get engaged in this exercise.
Governor Hyacinth Alia, in his address, described the e-registration as a key tool to enhance internal democracy, transparency, and inclusiveness within the party, while emphasizing the importance of peace, cooperation, and collective progress for the people of Benue State.
From tomorrow, all party chairmen in all the 23 local governments, all local government chairmen in all the 23 local governments of the state are living from here to their various local governments, and all specialists who have become specialists after this training of the registration will leave from here Badede to go straight to your own various wards to begin this registration statewide tomorrow.
The state party chairman, Benjamin O'Malley, alongside the state coordinator, James Onguga, urged citizens to fully participate in the registration exercise, assuring party members that the process will be fair and transparent.
The deployment of these three registration agents per ward is deliberately effort to ensure speedy and effective timely completion in line with the next deadline, 31st December 2026.
The world is indeed going digital, and our party has also adopted this innovation, that instead of keeping a manual register of members, it is better that we have a digital register where we can see all our members with a little click. It is indeed a good thing.
The governor called on the party leaders, community leaders, and party stakeholders across the state to encourage broad participation in the electronic registration as the party prepares for future political activities. From Vanica local government area of Benue State, Felicity Ndere reporting for Global Television News.
Let's turn to Rivers State now, where political tension continues to mount as impeachment proceedings against Governor Siminalayi Fubara and his deputy, Professor Ngozi Odu, dominates the political landscape. Amid the growing uncertainty, two members of the State House of Assembly have called for restraint, urging their colleagues to embrace dialogue and political resolution in the interest of peace and stability. Sadia Yakubu has details.
The Rivers State House of Assembly has become the center of a deepening political crisis following the formal notice of impeachment served on the governor and his deputy. However, breaking ranks with the prevailing hardline position, Honorable Silvanus Nwankwo, representing Omoma constituency, and Peter Abe of the Gema constituency addressed journalists in Port Harcourt, appealing for a calmer approach. Nwankwo, who is the minority leader of the House, acknowledged that there may be constitutional issues, but stressed that the current situation requires political wisdom and compromise rather than open confrontation.
We are here this morning to appeal to the conscience of our fellow colleagues, having listened to so many pleas, calls from our elders and leaders, both within and outside the state, begging for leniency. We are begging, calling our colleagues to reconsider our step and see how this matter can be resolved amicably, even though the governor and the deputy governor has infringed.
In the same vein, Peter Abe warned that escalating the crisis could undermine governance in the state. He emphasized the need for mutual understanding, adding that the governor also has a role to play in ensuring a peaceful resolution.
We want to plead with our colleagues to please reconsider. This, we have received calls from leaders, from people in River State, outside River State, and we see that you don't raise the axe and swing it as you raise it. So we plead with our colleagues to reconsider, to please reconsider, provided the governor too has a role to play.
As pressure mounts from stakeholders within and outside the state for a peaceful outcome, attention now turns to Rivers State House of Assembly to determine whether dialogue will prevail or the impeachment process will run its full course. Sadia Yakubu reporting for Global Television News.
And now to education matters. Tertiary Education Trust Fund, TED Fund, has commenced its 2026 intervention cycle, releasing over 6 billion naira to public tertiary institutions nationwide to boost infrastructure, research, and academic development. The announcement was made at a stakeholders workshop for heads of beneficiary institutions in Abuja. Education correspondent Priscilla Obasi now reports.
The 2026 Stakeholders Workshop brought together vice-chancellors, provosts, and directors of public universities, polytechnics, and colleges of education from across the country. Executive Secretary of TETFund, Sonny Echono, says the intervention is designed to strengthen infrastructure, expand academic programs, deepen research and innovation, and accelerate digital transformation in public tertiary institutions. He disclosed that university would receive 2.525 billion naira, polytechnics 1.871 billion naira, and colleges of education 2 billion and 56 naira, with over 90% of funds to be released directly to institutions.
The primary focus of this engagement is the 2026 disbursement guidelines. Additionally, this session provides an opportunity for meaningful discussions and feedback on the implementation of our year 2025 disbursements. As an intervention agency, our goal is to enhance the impact of these interventions by focusing on performance and strengthening partnerships between the fund and the institutions that we support.
Chairman of the Board of Trustees of TETFund, Aminu Bello Masari, charged beneficiary institutions to ensure transparency and accountability, stressing that the funds must translate into tangible benefits for students, staff, and host communities.
To this year's engagement and distribution of allocation papers to institutions. The Executive Secretary has addressed all the technical issues. So he came prepared. But I don't think I'm prepared. But I will comment on 2 or 3 issues.
Union representatives and regulatory agencies at the workshop commended TETFund's sustained support, noting that prudent utilization of the 2026 intervention funds will be critical to strengthening Nigeria's higher education system and driving national development. Priscilla Obasi, reporting for Global Television News.
Many thanks, Priscilla. In recent years, internet fraud has grown from a fringe criminal activity into a widespread social challenge affecting communities across the country. Once associated with a small group of individuals operating in secrecy, online fraud has now become more visible, organized, and socially disruptive. Here is Sadia Yakubu's report.
The expansion of internet access and smartphone usage has created new economic opportunities, but it has also opened doors for cyber criminals. Many fraudsters exploit social media platforms, emails, and messaging apps to deceive victims, often posing as business executives, romantic partners, or government officials. Unemployment, poverty, and the pressure to achieve financial success have been identified by experts as major factors driving young people into internet fraud. For some, it is seen as a shortcut to wealth in an economy where legitimate opportunity feel limited.
Internet fraud per se can be caused from poverty. Now, the poverty is not based on the teenagers per se, but it's based on the parents. Why do I say the parents? Most African parents, they cannot be able to provide for their wards.
The consequences for victims are often devastating. Individuals have lost life savings. Businesses have collapsed and families have been pushed into financial crisis. Beyond financial loss, victims suffer emotional trauma, shame, anxiety, and loss of trust in others. Many are reluctant to report fraud due to fear of stigma or believe that nothing will be done. International victims in particular have reported damaged perceptions of entire communities and countries, further affecting global relationships and opportunities for honest citizens.
And people want to either harvest data or harvest information that they can then use for personal gain. So the causes is close to government, and it's also said the consequence also affect those who are innocent.
Law enforcement agencies face significant hurdles in combating cybercrime, including limited technical capacities, jurisdictional challenges, and rapidly evolving scam method. While arrests and prosecutions have increased, experts argue that enforcement alone is not enough without addressing root causes. Tackling internet fraud requires a multi-layered approach. Job creation, digital skills training, and youth empowerment programs can provide legitimate alternatives. Public awareness campaigns can help citizens recognize and avoid scams. Stronger cyber law, improved policing, and international cooperation are also essential. Addressing it requires not only arrest and laws, but a collective effort to restore values, create opportunities, and protect the digital future of the society. Sadia Yakubu, reporting for Global Television News.
Thank you so very much, Sadia. You're watching News Prime here on Global Television. More stories coming shortly. Please stay with us. The second part of this news broadcast now returns with business. Nigeria is set to unlock up to $3 billion annually from the global carbon market as part of a broader push to mobilize climate finance and drive sustainable development. President Bola Tinubu made this known while addressing world leaders at the 2026 Abu Dhabi Sustainability Week, where he announced that Nigeria has activated a national carbon market framework to attract between $2.5 and $3 billion yearly over the next decade. President Bola Tinubu says the move is backed by strong regulatory reforms, including the National Carbon Market Activation Policy and the National Carbon Registry, aimed at improving emissions reporting, verification, and investor confidence. He added that Nigeria is also targeting up to $30 billion annually through climate and green industrialization investments.
Nigeria stands with the global community, moving beyond ambition and chose delivery. The nation views the Nexus approach as an opportunity to align climate action with energy access, economic growth, job creation, and social inclusion.
The president further highlighted ongoing energy sector reforms, including the 2023 Electricity Act, which promotes decentralized power supply to rural and underserved communities. He listed key financing initiatives supporting the energy transition, alongside a World Bank-backed program expanding clean electricity access to millions of Nigerians.
Nigeria took a major regulatory steps to strengthen our climate governance and sustainability. We adopted the National Carbon Market Activation Policy, NCMAP, and launched the National Carbon Registry to improve our measurement, reporting, and verification, MRV. The system and investors' safeguards.
As Nigeria pursues net zero emissions by 2060, the president called for stronger global partnerships in technology transfer and innovation, stressing that effective implementation of the carbon market will position the country as a major player in climate finance while delivering economic growth and inclusive energy access. Let's turn to the foreign scene. The United Nations Refugee Agency's new chief, Baram Sali, has recalled his own experiences as a refugee-led school while visits to Kenya, his first trip in the role. The former Iraqi president became the first former head of state to run the United Nations High Commission for Refugees at the start of the year. Baram Sali has known torture and the wrenching loss of exile. 4 decades after his own ordeal, he has taken the helm of the United Nations Refugee Agency as it grapples with a funding shortfall and ever-rising needs. He said during his first trip in the new role to Kakuma refugee camp in Kenya that it is a profound moral and legal responsibility heading such a pivotal arm of the United Nations. While in Kenya, he particularly praised the refugees' tenacity, an attribute he noted they have shown even in the face of daunting challenges.
Visiting Kakuma, you understand the scale of the problem that we have. And obviously Kenya has been quite remarkable and truly stands out as a model for protection in this troubled region. The scale of the needs are undeniably still very, very high. But when you meet these young people, one is humbled by their resilience and by the commitment that they have to make in it.
The Kakuma refugee camp is East Africa's second largest, hosting roughly 300,000 people from South Sudan, Somalia, Uganda, and Burundi. It has been in place since 1992. Uyi Agbomofwegbe reporting for... Now to sports, the Nigeria National League has postponed the kickoff date for the second stanza of the 2025-2026 Nigeria National League season. The second stanza, which was earlier scheduled to kick off on January 31, will now commence on February 14, 2026. And now to end News Prime tonight on Global Television, let's take a quick look at some of our big stories. The federal government has taken a major step towards ending power outages in Nigeria's health facilities. In business, Nigeria says it is set to unlock up to $3 billion annually from the global carbon markets as part of a broader push to mobilize climate finance. On the foreign scene, Somalia says it has cancelled all agreements with the United Arab Emirates due to evidence the Gulf state is engaged in undermining its sovereignty. And finally, in sports, tonight we told you the Nigeria National League has postponed the kickoff date for the second stanza of the 2025-2026 NNL season. And that's all I have for you tonight on News Prime. Thank you so very much for watching. On behalf of my colleagues who have made these broadcasts possible, I'm Uyi Agbomofwegbe saying have a good night.